What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How you guys doing? Today we are having a little bit of fun. I haven't seen this in the video in a while, the Daytona 765, so that's going to be getting some work done today. We are going to be doing an LED conversion. So we're taking the halogen lights and replacing them with LEDs, including the small little yellowish middle light. If you guys know the Daytonas, you know what I'm talking about, and you'll see in a minute. But if you have a Daytona 765, you want to stick around because we're going to be doing this, as well as if you want to convert your motorcycle and put LEDs for the headlights. That's a little bit different process in terms of taking the bike apart, obviously, but it's the same thing. So if you're interested in that, this is a video for you. If you're looking for this bike or Daytona or any H7 bike, LED light bike, H7 lamp light LED, you know what I'm talking about. I'll put the link down below on which ones I'm using. You can check them out, they should work for you. And with that said, let's go. Alright guys, before we get into this, the first thing I want to say is thank you for watching, thank you for coming to the channel, and thank you for clicking on it, however you got to this channel. If you like what you see, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And with that said, I think, in my opinion, I think the LED conversion is probably the first mod you should do on any motorcycle, and I'll tell you why. First of all, if you ride at night or if you get caught out at night, it gives you just a vast improvement in visibility when you're seeing, especially if you have a dark shield, which you probably shouldn't be doing, but we're riders, we do it. I know I ride with a dark shield, I don't keep a replacement, and having the LEDs makes a huge difference. Especially like if you do change your visor and have a clear visor or have a transition shield, even better. You can see potholes, you can see further ahead, objects in the road. It just makes riding at night way more comfortable, way more, you feel more confident in your riding. As far as riding in the day, it also makes you more visible. Other vehicles are going to see you much easier, especially when you're lane splitting in California. I know my wife hates when I ride behind her because the lights are so bright, and I get it, it can be annoying, but I think my safety comes first rather than annoying people. But that's just my opinion. You may have another opinion. It's super easy to do, it's super cheap to do, and I mean, I don't see why people don't do it. I don't understand why bikes don't come with LEDs across the board. But with that said, let's go. Let me show you what I'm putting in. These have a little driver that you can plug, that plugged into it, that you can slide into the little gap, which I'll show you in a minute. And the back of the LED is a bit smaller. I think this is due to the fact that it has a driver. So in order to put the 765 and keep it as clean as possible, I want everything on this bike to be like as perfection as possible. I figured, why not go that route? Let's go ahead and, this is exactly the same setup as a 675, so this should work, and we should be able to plug it all in and be able to put the cap back on. So I went with this, and if you want to know which model it is, I'll put the link down below, like I said in the description. You can click on it and pick it up on Amazon. They were like 54 bucks. So one of the things I'm finding with 765 is pretty interesting is that parts from the 675 actually transfer over, and because they don't make the 675 anymore, parts are cheaper. So these were only like 54 bucks. I got a fender eliminator kit that supposedly fits, and that was like 70 bucks shipped and delivered, which I thought was pretty cheap, and I'll make another video on that. But I thought it was pretty cool. It's making it easy to find stuff. So this is actually going to be the very first mod that I'm doing on the 765. I haven't been riding it. Like you heard me say earlier, I really want to get this thing wrapped and get all the carbon fiber protected before I really start riding it a lot. And so it's just been kind of sitting in my garage. Plus, with everything going on in the world, I haven't been doing much riding anyways. So we are going to be changing not only the headlights, we are going to be changing, I don't know if you can see it in the screen, but there's a little center, like a daytime running light or something like that. And I have some of the little LED bulbs for that. Now I do have a caveat with that one, but we'll get to that in a minute. So with that said, let's go. Alright, so time has passed because I've been looking for tools and looking for a manual and just making sure I'm doing things the right way to get this done. Really, I just want to be extra cautious with this bike. So with that said, the first thing we need to do per the manual is remove the seat, change the battery, or disconnect the battery, not change the battery. Yeah, you don't need to change the battery, just disconnect the battery. So that's what we're doing. I just don't like doing this to the seats. It's really like, I feel like I'm ruining the seat and ends up leaving creases and shit. So it says to remove the negative lead first, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm not a big fan of doing this. While it's easy, so that's done. Jesus. Okay. Battery's disconnected. Next. Okay, so the next step, which I've already started, is removing this infill panels or whatever they're called. This is the scary part for me because these are carbon fiber, and I've never messed with carbon fiber, and it scares the shit out of me. Although that's just that one screw, and it should come out. You lift and you pull. There you go. I'm gonna turn it to give myself a little bit of room. Just trying to give myself as much room as possible to not scratch anything. How can we do this? Can we do it? And lift. Like this, oh, there we go. Success. Look at that. All right, so now hopefully you can see this is where the light bulb goes. And literally, it should just unscrew and boom, you have access to the light bulbs. All right, here we go. So let's go ahead and take a look at the difference. Here is the OEM light bulb. Here is the LED light bulb that we're replacing it with. So it should be a direct fit. The difference also being as we need to fit this driver in. So on the other Daytona, it didn't have the driver and it has a bigger back piece here, and so I couldn't put the cap back on. So this should be able to fit somewhere in there snugly, which shouldn't overheat or get warm. And then this will plug into this, and then this will plug into the OEM hardware. Simple swap. Anytime, a little pro tip, like I said, anytime you're touching light bulbs, put some gloves on. You don't want to put your greases on here and then they get hot or warm up and destroy the light bulb. Alright guys, so this is actually another day because I had some issues here. I'll explain kind of what happened. So I tried taking this piece, this little plastic piece comes off, and I tried putting it on and then closing the clamp and then screwing the light back into the plastic piece. However, that didn't work very well. It doesn't fully seal, like, so as you can see, it seals on that rubber piece right here. I don't know if you can see it. It seals right there. It wouldn't completely seal, and so it wouldn't stay on, and it wouldn't really go in there. So I had some issues. I had a lot of issues actually. It's definitely not the easiest light bulb install, but I did get it done on the other side. All of this stuff right here fits in here. This fits in here behind the actual light housing, so you can kit it in there and hide it. I actually had to bend this little light clip, the mount, a little bit to go around this piece right here so that it would hold in place. So there took some finagling to get it done. It wasn't easy. I wish I could have filmed it, but honestly, I was getting a little frustrated. I actually lost this piece below the carbon fiber fairing underneath, and I had to figure out how to fish that out, and that took some time. So I think trying this when it was dark out was a bad idea. I figured it'd be a lot easier. The Daytona 675 I didn't have this many problems with, but again, I didn't have this driver. The only reason I went with this model was because I wanted the cap to be able to go back, this cap to be able to go back in place and just have it look proper, right? So we're gonna get started on this second side. We'll see if I get it done, and I'll kind of show you once it's in how it looks. Actually, I can show you now. Watch. So you can see on this side, the cap is on, and I'll undo it. This is probably a bad idea, but as you can see, I got it in there. All those extra cables fit inside behind the housing. This isn't fully clamped on, but it is holding nice and tight, so I don't think that's gonna go anywhere. And then this goes back on, which also took a little bit of work and finagling, but it goes back on. And let's see, there we go. There you go. So now it's back on and sealed. Yeah, time to do the other side. All right, so I got this thing completed and put back on. Oh man, this was a hassle. I wish I could give you better instructions on how to do it. It just really sucks. It's not easy to do, but it's in. So hopefully once all back together, we're good to go. So next thing, I'll put the inlets back in, and then we're gonna come over here and work on this to replace this. This actually uses these T10 LEDs, which I'll put the link again below if you want to get them. They come in, and they're super cheap, but they come with a lot. So I've actually used these for both the GSX and for the other Daytona in the past. So and I have a bunch left, so we're gonna do that. The one caveat here, you do have to take the windscreen off, right? So be careful with that. When I did the other Daytona, be careful right here, because this little piece cracked when I was putting it back in, and I'll show you. As you can see here on the Daytona, I cracked it a bit when I replaced this LED light right here. As you can see, that's these LED lights, and over here you can see it's not. So this is like a yellowish light. So this is gonna be a nice bright white LED and kind of put it all together. So it's pretty easy. There's a little rubber grommet. It stays on the windshield. So you take it off, and what I do is I just get it loose enough to do it by hand so I don't accidentally scratch anything, and it comes right out. And just be careful not to lose these little rubber pieces. Once that's off, you can see you can access the light bulb from back here, and it should just pop right out, just like that. So here's a comparison of the two. Here's their stock light, and here's what we're putting in right here. So you can see pretty much the same size, but this will definitely be brighter. And then it goes right back in to where you found it, and you want to make sure it gets a nice snug fit, and just like that, it's back in there. Okay, so one quick tip here for you guys putting it back on. For some reason, it's super difficult to put this back on. So I remove the mirrors. As you can see, I still have this one off. I'm about to put it back on. That lets you, or gives you a little bit more flexibility with the fairing here to move it. So that made it a little bit easier. Also, 2 pairs of hands, one person to kind of hold the fairings, one person to slide it in. For some reason, it's just so difficult to get this back into the bike. I don't know why, but it is. And I've looked up videos of people installing this, and nobody shows the actual install process because it's a hassle. And by that, you get frustrated and you're like, you know what, let's move the camera, let's get into this. So recommendation, again, remove the mirrors, have a second person to help hold the fairings while you slide that in. Yeah, good. All right, so we're back in business. It's all put back on. Last things to do is reinstall the battery. I'll probably put the battery on and then test it before I put it all back together as far as the seat goes, and yeah, and then we go from there. All right, now that we have it all done, everything's installed, seats back installed, I want to go ahead and show a before and after. So I'll go ahead and put that up on the screen right now, and I mean, you can see literally the night and day difference. The quality of light, right? How much brighter it is, and how much safer it's going to be out on the road because people are going to be able to see you. So this is why I think this is probably the best, cheapest, and I'd say easiest mod, but I am not a mechanic, so I always have problems with this shit. So it should have been easy, but I had a little bit of trouble, but we got it done. And if I could do it, you can do it. That's for damn sure. So I'll put all the link to all the items, the 2 light bulbs, or to the actual LED light bulbs that I used. I'll also put the link to the running light, or the little LED running light that I used as well, down below, so you can click on that and go get those if you need it. And those will work on basically any Daytona after 2013. Yeah, so Daytona 675 to 13 and up, and obviously the Daytona 765 2020, which is basically the only one they're making. So yeah, that's done, all said and done. I think that's probably going to be a great mod. Now I just got to go clean it and detail it, because I put fingerprints all over the bike. I know there's not a lot of content on the Daytona 765, so I'm hoping to get more stuff out. The next thing I'm going to be doing is going to be the tail tidy. We're not going to do that in this video, but that'll be another video, so we'll do the install for that. And then I'll link to the one I'm using or putting on. And I'll talk about that in another video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and you see how easy it is and how worth it is to install LEDs on your motorcycle. So with that said, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button down below if you like the content. If you have any questions about any of this stuff that I was doing, if you're working on doing this on your bike and you have questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. I always answer, so I'll definitely answer you and get to your questions. And with that said, whatever time it is you guys are watching this, night, day, evening, doesn't matter. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic day, and until next time, peace. Ride safe.